Sounding Strat, particularly good.
Yes, it is. And I love hardtails. You know, a lot of people, don't get it, but man, they stay in tune better.
They sound better?
I think so. They're lighter weight. You don't have that extra weight there and all that.
Yeah. Who knows why people like what they like?
It's very hard to say. Well, a lot of them like what they like because they see you playing it.
I'll tell you, the only time that gold bar has been on that Mary Kay Strat that's at the Marquee is in the show.
Really?
If I keep it on there and I show somebody, they always go for that gold bar and they wiggle the thing with 5 springs on it because that thing is unmolested. It's never been taken apart.
Right.
And you know how hard it is to find a gold bar?
Oh, yes.
Break it off. And you're like, no thanks.
That's cool.
All right, so everybody, Norm over here, and I've got my nephew. I always call him my nephew. Not a blood relative, but about as close than
enough.
that.
Yeah.
I love Joe. I love his family, and one of the great musicians. I got Michael Lemo, and my buddy Joe is taking this Strat. We're going to do some kind of a trade on this.
Yeah.
And what's really cool about this is it's a 64 hardtail.
Right.
Which I love.
No tremolo.
And it's a custom color with the hang tags and the case. And it's another one of my good ones. If it's going to go to anybody, I'd rather see it with Joe than anybody else.
I play hardtails live, and I've never been a tremolo bar dweller. I've used them in the past, but I've never really used extensively enough to where I justify having one on the road. And I always found that they sound better. There's an extra 5%. There's a deeper connection to the wood and the strings.
And when we did our 200th episode of Guitar of the Day that Michael did, he used this Strat. This came out of my warehouse. I've had this guitar for 25, 30 years. And Michael did it. And then our friend did a cartoon of the 200th episode, and it's Michael playing this guitar.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite ones I've ever done on Saturday. So very cool guitar.
Michael's a family, Joe's a family,
right.
So it's glad to see it staying within the.
It's going as the crow flies 9 nautical miles from here, and that's where it'll spend the rest of its days.
Wow, pretty cool. I hope you take it in the studio with you sometime. So.
Yeah, these are great. I love custom color Strats, and stuff like this doesn't pop up anymore.
No.
It's just this clean, this
I've had
preserved.
it for so long. So.
What are you naming it?
This one?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm gonna name it. What's the chain of hamburger stands here? The Red Baron, right? Is there a Red Baron?
Red Robin.
Red Robin. That's it. The Red Robin. You know why? For 2 reasons. 1, I'm freaking hungry because I've been on a juice cleanse for 2 days, and 2. I'm freaking hungry, and the guitar is red, so it's called the Red Robin.
There you go. Well, don't eat it.
No, I won't eat it. I don't want to.
And it's candy apple.
But yeah, candy apple's a cool color. I actually got a few candy apple stashed away. I got a really perfect 65 that you turned me on to from a songwriter here in town. And I got a couple of really nice big headstock 66s, and among other dignitaries of the candy apple family.
Well, the thing, and you know this, Joe. I mean, the thing cool about these custom colors is that 9 out of 10 were sunburst, and when it came to Stratocasters.
Yes.
So of that 10%, they were broken up into all the other colors, from candy apple red to Lake Place blue to Harvest gold and Shoreline gold and Inca silver and
Burgundy mist,
seafoam green and all that. So that 10% is broken up. So there's very few of them to begin with, but very few in the condition of this guitar. And this guitar has got all the attributes of being a great collector's item and also being
a great instrument. I mean, it's one of the things. I've turned over a new leaf in 2020, and I have to justify this addiction somehow, and one of the prerequisites of me buying stuff going forward, it's got to be a good instrument, Because I went years of just like...
You need another guitar.
Well, if there's anything we know is I don't have enough to play, you know?
Yeah, right.
So thank God. You know?
Do you have a count on all this stuff yet?
It's around 400. It's about maybe a tick over.
That's a good start.
Yeah, and it's a good start. But last year was a banner year, which I hope we're never going to repeat nor attempt. And I have enough Les Pauls for a lifetime, and then a lifetime after that, and then a third lifetime if I ever come back as a cat. You know?
Joel's cat.
Yeah, I have enough, by the way, I have enough tweed amps if I come back as a cat as a scratching post for 4 lifetimes as well. So.
Of every year and every style.
Well, I have every...
Doubles, triples, and quadruples.
We have Well, I have the mint set, which you've seen at my house, which is basically all narrow panel, mint, doubles, triples of each, the whole set, everything from the Champ to the high power twin, you name it, it's there. The low power twin, that is the mint one from the set, is the one you sold me.
Yep.
The one we tripped and fell over at this, out at the warehouse.
And the 2 white supers too. The
first white supers was sold to me as the only one ever until we went out about 6 months later, and I was like pulling Victoria luggage covers off of.
I forgot what I had.
Yeah, Fender amps.
One of them came from the Sons of the Pioneers,
yeah.
And the other one came from this guy Porky Freeman,
right,
who was the inventor of the Marauder and a lot of stuff for Fender.
Worked for Rickenbacker as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, that's the thing. That's the thing about organized hoarding, is I know this man knows where everything is. Like he'll say, I'm not sure what's in that case. You have the bionic vision. You're like, oh, there it is. Where's that Lake Placid Blue
I'm
Jasmine?
a little senile.
It's over here.
Oh, he knows where that one is. I do too.
But let me just say this: in about 2 weeks, we're going on the Joe Bonamassa Blues Cruise out of Miami, and it is the coolest, greatest thing. You always organize some of the greatest talent. Who do you have?
Buddy Guy, Mike Vito. We have Living Colors on the boat.
What?
Cult of Personality, yeah. Paul Schaefer's back. He's running the All-Star Night. And
Joe Bonamassa. He announced Joe, and he got his name wrong. Yeah.
But it was great. And then he was the MC on the ship. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, it's Paul Schaefer, and he's MCing the ship. He's great, and nobody runs an all-star jam. Like my 2 favorites that we have this year. Paul's doing the springtime one, and Jimmy Vivino's doing the Mediterranean one. And when it comes to putting together an all-star group and running it in an efficient manner that makes sense, those are the 2 top of the heap. So we're lucky to have. We're lucky to have everybody. Everybody's been.
And one
great.
of my favorites is going to be on the ship too, James Hunter. Right?
James Hunter's back, and then,
James Hunter is one of the most underrated, greatest musicians that I know, and I mean he's just stupendous. His tunes are great, and I know Michael Rhodes is crazy about him,
and there's some great young talent there, and it's part of our whole thing about the Keeping the Blues Alive crew. It's soup to nuts. It's from young bands that you've never heard of to bands that you're going to hear of next year, and
journeyman,
and the veterans, and it's been a great. This is our 7th year doing it.
It's like old home week. I mean, I know almost all the people on the cruise, and I love it.
And it's hard to believe it's almost been a year since Norm and I got into the car crash after the guitar safari.
I know that was almost changed everything. Right. I talked him into going to my buddy's guitar store. We bought a few guitars, and on the way back to the hotel, just before we're going to board the ship, we're in my friend's car, and it was like a Cadillac Escalade, and this guy runs a red light and takes the front of the car off.
Right.
If it would have been like a half a second in any other direction, Joe, me, Marlene, and my buddies would no longer be there, and poor Rick Gould.
It's hard to believe that was a year ago.
Yeah.
But we did end up with some nice guitars that day.
And one funny thing that I don't know if I've ever mentioned to you guys is James Hunter, who was on the cruise. And the first time he was on the cruise, he's setting up in the atrium, and they're trying to get the sound right on the PA. And Joe walks up to the sound guy, and he goes, could you turn like the high end down a little bit? It's like a little bit piercing. And James Hunter, who didn't know who Joe is, he's walking around. This is the guy that pays him. Is walking around with the baseball cap and all that, not wearing the sunglasses and the suit and all that. And James Hunter goes, who's this guy?
I was like,
I said, that's the guy who's paying
I was
you,
just trying
you
to,
idiot.
Well, I'm unrecognized. I pride myself on being just an average guitar geek because when I'm on those boats, I have my sets that I have to be the other guy. But what I like to do mostly is just because we rarely get out and fraternize with other bands the way we tour, and it's great to just go out and see other bands, and if I can be like, hey, this is a little piercing, just nudge the high end down, if I could help them out there.
It comes from
I wish
a
somebody would did that
qualified
for me
ear.
on something, yeah. But we're looking forward to it, and Norm's been on every one of them, and it's always a fun hang with the family and stuff like that. And we'll see if Mother this year it pleads her case again. Norm, please stop selling Joe guitars.
I know. She asked me one time. She said, "Could you please, not sell Joe any more guitars? He's got too many guitars." So I kind of put my hand like this, and I went, "I absolutely, Deborah, I will not sell Joe another guitar." And I crossed my fingers.
And that was literally a day later is when we shook hands on the Norm burst. Literally a day later. We kept our word for 24
Sorry,
hours.
Deborah.
Yeah, exactly.
Leonard, his dad, Len, knows the neuroses, but I was trying to calm it down and not make it too traumatic for Deborah. But,
you know what? It's all fine. They know their son's okay.
Well, there's lots of other people contributing to your delinquency as well.
Yeah, no kidding. Right.
So, anyhow, Joe, play us out with this thing,
thanks,
man.
Norm. I'm looking forward to giving this thing a go.
Hey, great Joe Bonamassa. Thank you, buddy. And I'm glad to see it in your hands. Deborah, I'm sorry.
Once again, yeah.
But this is a trade. We're going to do a trade. So
Exactly.
I'm not going to
No, it's not. It's not.
raid your bank account.
I don't have to leave a duffel bag full of cash in front of the store before
There
it
you
opens.
go. All right. The great Joe Bonamassa and Michael Lemo and this beautiful candy apple red Strat.
The Red Robin.
There it is.
It's amazing.
Cool.
Thanks,
Cool.
Joe.